put on your seatbelt. Let's go.
All right, turn up the music.
There's a killer on the loose. Look out, he's right behind you. He won't give me the axe. I'm scared, but I'm fighting back. We are the scream queens, running through the night. We are the scream queens, gonna put up a fight, make everything alright. Flowing through.
Welcome to Scream Queens Horror Road Trip Podcast. Oh, that one hurt my ears.
Were you not prepared, sir?
That was our final girl, Justine, and I'm your sole survivor, Mr. Josh. Welcome to the show, episode 108. How do you celebrate?
How do you celebrate your 108? We do that by going to NASA.
Yeah, we're heading to Houston. We're on Interstate 45, heading south right now in Texas. And we're going to NASA, and we'll be covering Alien 3.
Yes, David Fincher's Alien Trace.
Yes, Alien 3. If you don't know Spanish, that means Alien 3.
Anyway,
We're trying to impress you with our Duolingo skills.
Yeah, I don't even know what alien is in Spanish.
Alioso?
Is it? Are you being serial?
No, I have no idea. Duolingo hasn't taught me that word yet.
Yeah,
but
I have not learned.
I'll get
that.
there.
Does anybody know? Let us know.
But yeah, we're covering the 1991 David
No,
Fincher.
1992.
1992 David Fincher film. His first movie.
Yes.
His most maligned movie. The movie he even himself has kind of distanced himself from.
Yes.
Don't blame him, to be honest.
It's a polarizing film for sure.
I will say I took less issue with it watching it like this go around for this podcast than I have in the past. But that being said, it's still not my favorite.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's not his favorite either, so I feel like I'm in good company. If David Fincher doesn't like his own movie, I'm allowed to not like it.
And then book closed. Actually, we don't even need to talk about it anymore. Thanks, guys, for showing
Bye.
up.
We will be covering the theatrical version, not the extended cut. It's not a director's cut.
It's not, and he doesn't even like it.
Yeah, Fincher doesn't like that one either. He's actually never seen it. But he did give someone his blessing, like, yeah, go and do it, but I don't want anything to do with it, basically, was his attitude.
Yeah. He just didn't want to fuck around and find out.
He had a hard time on this movie. They screwed with his vision a lot. They fired him a couple times. Like, he had a hard time. They, I think, took the cut away from him, chopped it up how they wanted, so...
They chopped him up?
What we get is what we get.
And we are definitely throwing a fit. Yes, a lot of the creative, aspects that he definitely wanted there, were either heavily, like you said, diced up, or just completely removed. Even down to the sect, the religious cult, that was a big part of this movie.
Yes.
It was kind of butchered, and the lore behind all of that. So, do we have anything else to let them know about? We're going to NASA, the Johnson Space Center.
We're going to do the general tour, and then we're doing a special tour of the Mission Control Center, which is going to be really cool. I'll be like, where did Ed Harris sit when he was
made
filming
Apollo 13?
Yeah.
And then where did Tom Hanks sit when he out there up in the sky? And everybody's like, no, he didn't really go up there.
I'm like, and when do I meet an astronaut?
And when do an astronaut? I bleeped myself.
That's good.
It's impressive. It's a talent.
It's just maturity.
Thank you. Did you call me mature?
You're very mature and demure.
Oh, thank you. Well, let's go ahead. Must say, definitely aren't like thrill. Oh, this isn't the most like fun of all of the Alien franchise, and we've previously covered Alien 1 and 2, so check those out.
Those are really fun episodes.
Yeah,
We went to
I
some
enjoyed those.
fun places. The first one for Alien 1 was to a famous alien burial site. Aliens, we went to Roswell. Now we're going to NASA. So there you go.
There you go. And we're going to see some spaceships.
Yes.
And all of
Talk
this
about
is,
outer space.
Yeah, a lot of the Alien movies take place on a spaceship, but how we're going to open this film, and I'm segueing right now, is we're going to open onto the credits. They're splashy. They're scattered, but it's the spacecraft that we left on Alien 2. Sigourney Weaver as Ripley is in hypersleep with
Newt and
Hicks.
Yeah.
And then, of course, our beloved Bishop. So there's 4 people or 3 people, and then an android in hypersleep. But there's also something very nefarious going on. We see a face hugger, a couple of shots of a face hugger floating above the different hypersleep pods, chambers.
So one got in, y'all. We thought they got away in Aliens, but no, one got in. They got away, but one got in.
Damn.
What? There's a lot of getting away and getting in.
There's a lot of getting away and a little bit of getting in. There's a fire that starts, and it starts because the facehugger starts the fire.
He's a pyro.
He's really into arson. No, that acid that comes out of him, it just causes the
electrical fire, probably.
Yes, and then we've got some emergency alerts that are happening, and we see the spacecraft is on a trajectory towards just the closest planet.
Yeah, it falls out of the sky and lands in Fiorina.
Yeah, Fiorina, but they
planet.
call it Fury 161, and it's a penal colony.
Watch your mouth.
How dare you! For those with XX chromosomes, is that right?
Something like that. For people
It's
who
like
don't
how
know.
it's described under there. It's not even. It doesn't even say like an all-male penal colony correctional facility or whatever. It describes it in a chromosomal way.
Yeah.
And we cut back to the spacecraft. It's crashed near water. We can see that somebody might have drowned, like in their chamber. There's a retrieval process. There's screaming of like, "One's alive!" Of course, it's Ripley.
I was about to say, you want to know who it is? You ruined the suspense. It's Ripley. It's
Oh
not
wow!
Everyone else is dead, y'all.
Everybody dead.
Everybody dead.
Well, but of course it's Ripley. Sigourney Weaver is one. I mean, she was a executive producer.
They
on
might
this
have thought
film.
she just showed up to play dead.
Oh, she just played dead.
No,
Like
she's
Lance
alive.
Henriksen does. Like he shows up to play
Yeah.
2 different bishops
He
on
does.
this. But okay, so Ripley is then the lone survivor, but of the like Salukro.
Yeah. She's like, first the Nostromo, now this mess.
I can't even. She's like, I quit.
Every time I wake up from one of these, I'm continuing this journey of aliens chasing me. Just
I can't escape these facehuggers.
let me sleep.
Let me sleep. She just wants to be in that like hyper chamber
she's like,
pod
just
for.
put me back out.
You know, honestly, I kind of would love that. Like, just put me to sleep for like 4 years, 8 years, 15 years. I want to wake up and see
if you like
if
what
I
you
like
see.
what I see.
You're like, no, put me back to sleep.
Yeah, like, I'm good. I'll wake up in 100 years.
Yeah.
Do I like it? Am I shocked? Am I awed? No. Okay. So they take her back, and we learn a little bit about what the hell this place is. The warden is explaining to all of the crew / gang / religious cult / prisoners, and they're 25-ish in total. And
they all look the same.
Yes, they all
for the most part
look kind of like greaser monks from the future, and that like makes more sense when we find out that they're also this like small little cult that branched off from some kind of like fundamentalist Christianity. It's very like just out there, but yet like we don't even necessarily need all this.
Well, then we find out most of them chose to stay there once that place was going to be like condemned or something. Like, no, but we like it here.
So they kind of like hanging out.
So they left a medic and one other, a warden and a medic,
and then just a whole bunch of those prisoners, and they're just there to like maintain it. It's a lead like mineral. Everything with like alien movies is about like mineral ore and mining. So this is another one of those. But they make lead, and that really comes into play.
They might melt it.
They might melt lead.
Do stuff with it.
There might be things that happen with the melted lead.
Could get kinky.
It doesn't. Okay. So Ripley wakes up, and there is Tywin Lannister, but much younger.
A young Tywin Lannister playing. It is Tywin Lannister. These two worlds combined.
Yeah, it's Game of Thrones and Alien 3.
I mean, dragons are mentioned in this movie.
True. It's all coming back. All coming back to me now. Okay, Charles.
Oh, we're not going to continue singing?
We can't.
Okay.
We have got to carry this all the way to the finish line.
There's a lot of characters that we never really get to know. A lot of characters.
No, so many of them are inconsequential. They're just like placed there. So
plot points that don't really make any sense, or like actions by characters that you're like, why are they down there doing that? That must have been cut.
Well, yeah, it must have been chopped up and edited, and we
just on the editing room floor.
Some exposition is sitting somewhere else. But what was I gonna say? I already forgot. Oops. Okay, Ripley wakes up and she's like, "Holy shit, again?"
And she's like, "How was my crew?" And they're like, "Girl, they dead." And she feels sad about it because she felt very motherly towards Newt. She wants to see Newt's body. She wants to see both of their bodies. She's like, take me to them.
Yeah, she has
she's naked.
Like vision / like memory, dream or whatever, and so it worries her, and so she's like, no, I definitely want to see them. I want to see them. And when she goes to see did you want to talk about her being naked in front of?
She's like, do I walk down there like this, or can you get me something to cover up with?
And he's like, no, you're actually a violation of harmony here. All these men.
They're gonna get boners if you walk through.
Tempted.
And then they're gonna start doing each other.
Yeah.
And we can't have that right now.
Not right now.
Not right now.
Maybe tomorrow or later.
We need to figure out a semen cleaning up service, like how we're gonna manage that. Because it's gonna
look like a crime scene after we're done, and it would be a crime scene because it would be assault. Okay, moving on. The rescue team for Ripley. It's going to take a couple of weeks to get there, is what originally is shared. And the crew is like having none of it. They're like, what? I'm going to get horny. I just know I'm going to be horny.
We got to get her out of here.
We're all going to be horny Heathers. Horny Henrys.
I'm going to get blue balls.
And it's just this huge powwow of omission or admissions of emissions that might happen because of her.
Yeah.
But Ripley ain't got time for that.
I'm not here to bone. Well, I'll bone Tywin Lannister later, but
in a little bit. But she needs to see her crew or her two friends, Newt and Hicks, and she wants to ensure that there's not been an additional, a carry-on, so to speak.
She knows there's an alien presence, and she even tells him, like, I need to go check. I think there might be a contagion on And they're like, what? And she's like, syphilis.
Yeah, she's tight-lipped about it. No, it's cholera.
I know,
Oh,
I just couldn't remember, so I just said the first.
You know what? Honestly, it should have been syphilis. Like, would have made it more scarier for those men.
Yeah.
Because men get so scared about syphilis.
Yeah. They should.
Can that be like one of the top 2025
Stay
quotes?
scared. Men, stay scared of syphilis.
Y'all need to stay scared of syphilis out there. Okay, yeah, she does try to like say, I've got to go check them out because it could be cholera. And they do get worried.
And they're even like, cholera hasn't been around for like over 200 years on this planet. Like, what are you talking about? Something's got to do with something. What are you really wanting?
But they allow the autopsy of Newt. And, they chest open her and she's clean. Like, there's no face hugger inside. So it gives, Ripley a little bit of something to worry about. I don't think she ever thinks for a moment, like, okay, I'm in the clear. It's just my own paranoia getting to me.
And the thing is,
she's too smart.
As a viewer, we know it didn't get any human. That facehugger got a dog at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, and it is when she's doing all of this stuff that there's a character who approaches his dog Spike and is like, what's wrong? And Spike's got those kind of classic gash marks around the face where
it's really
a face
sad.
hugger.
Poor dog. And he's like, who would do this to a poor dog? Well, a xenomorph.
A baby xenomorph.
A xenomorph and a honey badger.
A honey badger don't give a fuck. Yeah, you're right. Like, two animals that would fuck around and find out.
Xenomorphs and a honey badger.
And a honey badger. Okay. So the Spike dog definitely has a little baby face hugger inside, and it's Bruin. And we meet Ripley meets Warden Andrews and Clemens, and they're kind of like discussing, should we cremate the bodies because of the potential cholera? What should we do? And they decide, yes, that's what's best. It's actually really Ripley who's pushing for it.
Yeah, they have like a
funeral.
A little funeral, I was going to say.
And it's
graveside.
where we again see the gang cult and the leader, Dylan. And he actually kind of like says a eulogy as the Hicks and Newt are sent off to be cremated in the fires of the...
Is this when we're seeing the dog giving birth? And by birth, I mean the xenomorph exploding out of him.
Yeah.
And being like a little xeno puppy.
Uh-huh. There's like a, not a side-by-side happening, but like, we've got two different, two things happening at once. And we've got our birth of our xenomorph and that poor doggy. Like, she didn't do nothing to nobody, John.
No, she just brought comfort to those prisoners.
On that planet, like, all by themselves, and that puppy was there for them.
He was a penal pal.
Penal puppy.
Penal puppy pal.
I'm not over it. Like, #, justice for Spike.
Justice for the penal pup.
Okay.
I'm not gonna stop saying that.
Penal pup? Okay.
Penal pup.
All right, well, you go at it. I'm not gonna stop you.
All right, fine, I'm done.
So, next scene is a little toxic masculinity mess hall. Ripley goes in to say thank you to Dylan, who offered the eulogy, and she's like immediately met with like, I'm a rapist and a murderer of women.
She's like, wow.
Like,
my name's Ripley. Nice to meet you.
Can we shorten that by chance? I'm a rapist and a murderer of women.
To just your name is fine.
Yeah. What are you?
We can have a deep conversation about this later. I felt like that was, you were trauma dumping on me.
You really led with like the most horrific. And I don't know if you're trying to sabotage, scare off, like if you think I'm not worth the investment.
She's like, well listen, I'm fucking Ripley.
Mm-hmm. I'm Ripley. I have carried this is my third movie now. I'm trying to tell motherfuckers what's up, and they don't listen to me.
Nope.
And so round 3, It starts right now.
So she's like, let's do it. Let's put on our battle faces and let's go.
So Clemens and Ripley are bonding in the infirmary, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink, bonding.
They do it.
They're
He sticks
putting
his
the P.
D in her P.
No, P in the B.
Oh, his P in the V. I was doing dick and pussy, D and P.
Oh, you said D and P? Okay.
I said
yeah.
D and the P.
D and the P.
And then you're like, no, P and the V. I mean, they both rhyme.
Well,
so I'm cool with
maybe, you know
either.
what, actually, maybe it was a D and the B.
Could be.
Who are you? Who are you?
I'm not judging. They should have shown us so we could have been more things.
That
would
would
have
have
been more
been,
clear.
yeah, I would have, that would have just been nice in this movie. This movie just drags and has a lot of the same kind of scenes, but.
It does.
All right, so we have some characters in a ventilation, or, okay, how should I put this? We've got one, there's a lot of ventilation shafts, guys. We've got a character in a ventilation shaft singing to himself. He thinks that he sees the
Spike.
dog.
Yeah, he's like, Spike, come
And
here, where are you, Spike?
so he crawls a little bit inside a hole, only to find a xenomorph. He's attacked. He gets scared, like obviously gets scared off. Falls back. It ends up falling into this like humongous like fan propeller thing because it's like an air shaft. And he just gets like chopped up, you know, like you do when you have like a little chopper and you're dicing up onions.
He gets hurt real bad. It splatters everywhere.
And
And
he
then
make a mess.
He made a mess.
It's like a mess everywhere.
And doesn't he know someone's gonna have to clean that up?
And immediately somebody does. And we
Yeah.
see this whole scene play out where Clemens has to leave his little pillow talk with Ripley and go and clean that mess up. And he finds the like acid,
Yeah.
but the residue of it. And he's like, you know what? Ripley at the crash site, we saw that. She's gonna know. Some gotta do something. She's gonna know.
And he goes back. She's like, "So what's up?" And he's like, "Well, I found someone
This.
dead." Yeah, this is what's up.
This what up? And she's like, I don't even like that. Don't talk to me like that.
Put me back to sleep.
She is probably having a lot of, I think a lot of this must be triggering for her because it's like deja vu, but like triple. Because again, she is having
They
to
call
like
that
tell people.
Deja vu.
Deja vu?
Deja vu.
Yeah, she having Treja, Quacha, whatever, Papu.
Papu.
There's too many movies where Ripley is telling people the
Listen
same,
to me.
and they're not listening.
She's always the smartest in the room, and no one ever listens. But that's what dumb people do. They don't listen.
And then they end up xenomorph dead.
Yeah.
So Ripley wants to access the flight recorder because she feels like she's going to learn something. I guess. And she's got a good
she's
feeling.
like, there's going to be clues in that. She's like, listen, I know you don't have the technology, but what about Bishop? There's like half his body. Surely I can like hook it up. And...
Yeah. And she's like, I'm just going to go get it. It's in some like trash dump. I'll go get it. And then while she's like digging in the trash and finding it, she's almost gang raped.
Yeah.
As, like literally, she's almost assaulted by
The
a
movie
bunch of the
gets
gang members.
really rapey for a second, but then once you know it, the guy that was like introducing himself like, "Hi, ma'am, I'm a rapist, a murderer of women," saves the day.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna have to teach my brothers a thing or two, and you know, I'm thinking, so do you mean like you're going to hold them in confinement because they just attacked somebody and then wanted to like sexually assault them? Is that what we mean? No, he meant like I'm gonna give them a reprimand and tell them that God didn't like it.
That's
God
right.
don't like when we act like that. Not out in the open, at least. We do that behind closed doors.
He's like, now I'm going to introduce myself as a man who believes in chivalry.
All of a sudden, I got real chivalrous.
I'm no longer a rapist, a moiterer. I'm chivalrous. I believe in virtue.
I think women are a prized possession to protect at all costs. No, I think he just really like wants her to go, and he doesn't want like for 5 years, they've just been able to like hang out there, be bros, get really into their religion.
And there's supposedly like people coming to save her or
Yeah.
like to pick her up. So they're like, how's it gonna look if they come and she's dead or has been gang raped?
Yeah, because it's the same. The Wayland, what is it? Wayland Yutani Corporation. They
Yeah.
basically like own the whole universe, and everybody works for them. Everybody knows who they are, and so why would you want to mess around with what they think is a priority to recover? Because
I don't.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't do that.
So he takes his men off, and she takes her man off. She takes Bishop.
She gets him off.
No,
she
she
already
does
did that.
not. And that's not even... Bishop is the android.
Oh, that's right. Not Tywin Lannister.
No!
No, I know exactly who we're talking about. I was.
Oh, you know who we're talking about?
Had a.
Sounded a lot like you were
I
confused
just
to know
got
who we're
dumb.
talking about.
I just got dumb for a second. It happens.
Okay, let's keep going.
I just wanted to make a get off joke.
Oh, you
so.
want you want to get off?
I don't. Right now.
Okay, so we just had Assault on Fury 161, and she's back there hanging out with Bishop, getting the kind of like information that she needed, which was what we just talked about, that Wayland Yutani owns everything. So they already know like what happened inside the ship. They're aware that there was a face hugger on there, and they're on their way. So she's like, okay, they're on their way because they want the alien, they want the specimen. They don't want me. She even tries to convey this to everybody. Like, guys, the first round, we were hired to do a job.
And we were
This was found out.
expendable.
We were expendable. The second movie, or for her, like the second go around.
The Marines were expendable.
So why would you think, as prisoners on an abandoned, like lead planet, that they're just going to be like, oh no, we definitely got to protect you guys.
Not my beautiful ass, not those Marines, but you.
Not my baby.
Not my baby. Those old Johnson & Johnson commercials.
Not my baby.
Not my baby.
Don't you dare get a fucking drop
Don't you
of
put shampoo on my baby.
soap that could fuck their eyeballs up. Don't you dare. Get it away.
If you don't know what we're referring, go to YouTube, type in Johnson & Johnson, not my baby, and those
And
commercials
enjoy.
should pop up. And enjoy.
And
We had to watch
enjoy.
that campaign for like a good 5 years in our childhood.
But honestly, I bet that soap in your eye is kind of the equivalency to like a face hugger acid.
Yeah.
So not my baby.
Not my baby.
Not my baby.
You're not gonna put acid in my baby's eyes.
Hell no.
We
What?
won't go.
We're here. We're queer. Get over it.
Oh, you know what? I do know the Spanish word for shampoo.
Oh.
Shampoo.
Oh,
It's really
that's
it's like
difficult.
C. It's like with a C.
Shampoo.
Shampoo.
Ooh.
So
That's
there you
not
go.
difficult
No,
to
you'll
have to
You'll
remember.
remember that one.
Okay, well later tonight when
You know
I'm
what my favorite Spanish word is? It's the word for sock. Calcetín. I don't know, it's just fun to say. I love when Duolingo makes me say calcetín.
Okay, one of my favorite things to say in Spanish is por supuesto.
Por supuesto. Yeah,
I
that
love
one
it.
flows. Of course.
Of course, por
Por
supuesto.
supuesto.
Of course.
Also like the word for suit, traje.
Ooh,
that one's fun.
that one's a good one.
Yeah, but I always
I
love
love
saying calcetín.
apple, manzana.
Manzana.
It sounds sexy. Oh, what's another? Oh, we just completely done.
Yeah.
This becomes
Sorry,
a, like,
guys.
what are our favorite Spanish words? Okay, back to where do we even want to begin? Okay, yeah, she's like, they've done all this stuff. Why would you think that they would like want to save you? There's obviously like a xenomorph out on the prowl
They
within
want
your
it.
confines, and that's true because the xenomorph attacks like a group of the men who want or who have been sent by the warden to find out what happened to the man that fell in the air shaft, because they're like, no, we can't just assume that he fell in the air shaft because he's a stupid ass. Like, it's got to
Yeah.
be because like something happened.
Did they say something like he had an IQ of 35 or something really low at one point?
Oh, so are you saying you think maybe he They
was.
did think that he was just stupid enough to fall in it.
Well, I forget. I just remember someone talking about an IQ being 35 at one point. in the
Josh,
movie.
don't talk about yourself like
I'm
that.
sorry. But they... Sorry. But they do... Anyways.
There is now a group of men, because it's everybody's a man on here except for Ripley. So there's a group of guys, and they're having to go around another part of another air shaft because they think they might find who or what killed that guy. And they certainly fucking do. They all get attacked. There's only one of them that survives, and he gets pulled into the infirmary and starts talking about a dragon.
He's
And
like, I saw a dragon.
and that's when, like, because who else is in the infirmary? Ripley. She hears this and she's like, no, like, it's true. I knew it because I, like, didn't just end up here
And
because
this
of
is
a
my-
fire.
And this is my third movie.
Yes,
So
like,
I know it.
I'm one of the producers on this film.
So she has a heart-to-heart with Tywin Lannister, and he's, like, coming out about, like, his past that she's been grilling him about for most of the movie.
Yeah.
And then he gets killed right after he, like, comes clean on his past.
It's so sad, too.
We're like, we just got a little bit of character development, and then you take him away from us.
And that's kind of like the only character development that Dylan has a little bit of one because he helps with the, like,
The rapey situation.
yeah. But kind of other than that, everyone is really disposable and they help just move the plot along, and it's a drawn out plot.
Yeah, and most of them lack any personality. They all have the same personality, really. And maybe that's why they're like, it's a cult, so they are going to have a similar mindset. But it's still like, this movie gets boring, and it should be exciting. There's really, like, not much suspense at all in this one. And, you know, the first two movies are so great, so suspenseful,
Yeah.
scary. And this one, it looks great. Like, it looks like a really nicely lit David Fincher movie, but poor guy.
And, like, the xenomorph themselves look great. We get them in a lot of different ways. There's, like, our special effects that are happening, including just like physical, like, stunts and, like, the suits that they're wearing and the puppets that are happening, and then computer generated images that we see. It's like the most of xenomorph that we see is in Alien 3.
And I like that it's designed like a dog. You know, it was born from a dog, so it has, like, dog-like qualities. This one's primarily on 4 legs, or, you know,
Yeah, it
walks
has that
on-
big long tail.
Has the tail. I mean, I guess they all have a tail, but just how he's modeled and is like a dog.
Yeah, very much. And that poor puppy. Again.
Looks like a really creepy, like, hairless dog
Yeah.
with a big-ass
With
head.
like a big penis head. Like
Big penis head,
mushroom, like
hairless dog.
hairless penis head dog
Yeah, there you go.
xenomorph.
In a rubber suit.
Yes. But we do get the mouth extender scene, which is iconic for this specific
Yeah, that's
movie
in
with
this
Ripley.
moment right now. After Tywin gets pulled up, you have that
Lemons! You better quit calling him
Tywin.
Tywin. This is not Game of Thrones.
Whenever Clemens Tywin gets pulled up into the ceiling, you have that iconic moment and shot where she's trapped up against a wall and the xenomorph comes right into her face. Or, that sounded wrong. He doesn't come on her face. But he gets in her face.
And his mouth, the littler mouth extender comes out.
And you're like, she's about to bite it. R.I.P. Ripley, but she doesn't.
Yes, and this is our, like,
And we're
first
like,
clue in.
Yeah, we're like, why did he not kill her? What is going on? Something has to do with something.
But it's, like, quickly after this that Ripley changes, like, physically. We see that she looks more gaunt. How they light her, she looks sickly. She starts to act out and grab and clutch her stomach a lot.
And, oh, by the way, they have shaved her head due to lice reasons. Everyone has to have a shaved head on this planet. So she has, like, a badass
yeah,
look.
she's got, like, a G.I. Jane look to her.
Before G.I. Jane. Or did G.I. Jane
Oh, I don't know. I
have
have no idea.
alien look? Yeah,
Yeah.
G.I. Jane definitely came out like mid-90s.
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 Media is mid in Spanish.
That's right.
Like medianoche, mediodía.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're just learning.
Yeah.
Learning and learning.
Did you know tostada means toast, not that thing you get at like Taco Bell?
Oh.
I
Well,
know.
that's cute, though. But can I still call it... Can I call the tostada here tostada?
We
should-
have to, or
yeah,
they
we
wouldn't
have-
know what you're
They're
ordering.
going to kill us? We have to, or they're going to kill us. Okay, back to... We were just talking about how, like, she feels like she's really sick and all that, so she's like, I gotta get a neuro scan. Give me a neuro scan. I wish I could walk around and be like, I need a neuro scan.
Somebody.
Give me some of them neuro scans, please. But she does find one, and upon scan, we realize
She prego.
she gonna have a baby.
She's with child.
The stork's going to arrive and drop off a little bundle of joy just for her, a girl or a boy.
I'm like, man, she sure did get pregnant quick from Tywin Clemens.
It wasn't that. She got pregnant in the hypersleep.
I thought it was like a mixture. I don't know.
You did
I have
not.
no idea.
There's no way. You're just trying to make a joke. Okay.
I thought it was
So-
gonna be a mixed baby.
She thought it was good. Stop. We gotta get through this.
Okay.
This is nonsense at this point.
It is.
Okay, she finds out she's prego, and she's like, I gotta talk to Dylan, and Dylan comes and chats with her. She's like, I can't do it. You gotta do it. I've got to die. I'm pregnant.
She's like, listen, take me to the nearest Planned Parenthood.
And he goes, I am the Planned Parenthood. She's like, I hear you're a rapist and a murderer, so you're the perfect guy for the job.
Yeah.
I need you to kill me, and it's because...
Do whatever you want with my
I'm
body
pregnant.
after, okay? Just
Yeah.
kill me.
Oh, so he's also into, like, necromancy?
Necrophil. I don't know. I mean, he hasn't said it, but
He hadn't said it, but I'm just... He hadn't come out and
He
said
hasn't
it.
said it yet, but
It's gonna happen.
I was getting those vibes.
And Dylan almost does it, and then he's like, no, you're not leaving us here with that thing roaming around.
You gotta help us kill it
You gotta
because you
help
know
us.
the most about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they come up with this concoction, this plan that they are going to use
Far.
the labyrinth that they have at their disposal of air shafts, because these air shafts have
Shafts.
no, what are
Air?
those doors, airlock
Oh.
doors. They have the doors, so they're gonna like lure the xenomorph all the way to where the lead mold, first they try to incinerate it, and then it's
He pops right on that. I was like, look what I just did.
here's I'm coming out.
He's like,
Let
defying
the world
gravity.
know. And I guess that's just a testament to the constant evolution of the xenomorph, because she had brought up the last time we battled it, we were able to incinerate it, but then the facehugger that was on the ship must have evolved out of that, and so now we get to see it jump out of the fire flames, and we're like, oh my god, that's it, we need to find something else, and they have limited time. So then they're like, okay, we gotta come up with the lead mold thing. We're gonna lure it into this molten lead, and it'll die that way.
Yeah, we're gonna torch the air shafts, trap them, let them.
Let them
Let them.
on fire, and then let them. And along the way of this labyrinth luring that they do, they lose more of their guys, because Xenomorph enjoys eating and trying to infest people with their little babies.
Yeah.
And
I do love some fire in a movie.
you love pyro.
Yeah,
It's-
not in real life, but in movies. It just adds production value. It just always looks really cool. It's always
Yeah.
exciting.
And they spent some money on that.
Yeah.
Because that is like, you got to get the insurance, get the AED. You got to have the medics on hand, the stunt coordinator. It's just a lot of money all of a sudden being thrown into one little scene.
Well, and you're burning sets, and then if you're lucky, you have
Burning
the money
sets?
to like rebuild if you need to. Maybe not in this movie.
Burning
Burn it.
sets.
Burn it down.
Okay. Along the way, while they have also like come up with hatched their plan, we've gotten these messages come through from the Wyland whatever people, the rescue team, that they're like 14 hours away, they're 10 hours away. Now we're to the point where they're 2 hours away, and they've expedited how quickly they'll get there because they also received the neuroscan of Ripley, and they found out she's pregnant, and they were like, okay, warp speed, we gotta get there, because that was like a little message that got sent through of, oh, now that we know she's with child, quote child, we're on our way.
They're like, this is a strangers with candy joke, but sorry, we came as soon as we felt like it.
It's my favorite phrase to use, and just to see what people like, what their reaction is.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, guys, we're in the final stretch. Just hang in there. So, the xenomorph is lured all the way to the lead. They take it to, what is it? The distance. We're going the distance right now. It plummets into the lead, and we get this like false sense of security moment where we think it's all good. There's
Everyone's
even like the music that rises up.
Like, we did it, y'all, and then no, we didn't do it.
Because
It's
I'm
just like that.
coming out.
We
Does
did
it again.
Didn't do it.
Boom.
Done. Didn't.
Didn't. Nope. Daddy didn't do it.
Mommy didn't either.
Mommy didn't do it. Daddy didn't do it. Xenomorph
Baby
comes
didn't do it.
jumping out of Penal Puppy didn't do it.
Penal puppy. Granddad didn't do it.
Xeno comes jumping out of the lead. It's coated in lead. And the next trick up Ripley's sleeve is to like get the shower water all over it from the sprinkler system. And that does the trick. The cold water hardens the lead on it, and then it shatters everywhere.
Like, damn it.
So that's it, right? No.
Oh.
Just when they thought the coast was clear, here
what?
comes the rescue team.
And guess who's with them? The real Bishop.
Like the real
And we're like
human
so
Bishop.
confused. She's even like, what Bishop? But you're dead. You're another Bishop? He's like, no, I'm the Bishop that Bishop is modeled after.
Oh, do you need a drink?
My voice is going.
Yeah, he's the designer. He's basically the father of Bishop. And he wants, I guess the whole thing is like, he says, and this is Lance Henriksen who's playing this character. He's like, I've been sent by the Wayland Corp so that you know how important you are to us. They sent me so that you would see a friendly face, but know that like we're gonna take care of you. We really want to retrieve that specimen out of you and dispose of it. And she's like, I just don't trust you.
And he's like, please trust me. And I'm like, Ripley, he said please.
Yeah, so you have to trust him now. Like, a liar would never say, like, please believe me.
He's using his manners.
It's important. Like, when we want someone to believe us the most, we plead with them to believe us.
Yeah,
and we say, please.
Please.
So he does.
But she's like,
Boy,
oh,
bye.
bitch, please, is what she says. And
that's right.
she locks the gate that's in between them.
She closes it shut. I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy who can't get no love from me, you know?
Or take my Xeno baby.
He's a scrub. He's a buster, you know, somewhat.
Hollering from his best friend's ride.
Try to at me. Gosh. Are we done yet? Is this even done yet?
She's like, I gotta do this. I'm gonna swan dive backwards into this lava pit. I'm gonna get a 10 out of 10 out of the Penal Colony Olympics.
Yes. It's a perfect dive. I really wish that she had the chance to get the gold medal.
Yeah.
But, and then in this moment of like a complete sacrifice, the little baby xenomorph
Pops out.
pops out of her chest. We get that chest popping moment.
But you know,
And she catches it.
yeah, I was gonna say Ripley being the badass is like she's like, get back in there.
She holds that little baby close to her chest, that one little mama moment,
Yeah.
her and her baby.
That's her baby.
And they go together into this lead fire.
It's the funniest like effect too, because you're like, oh, that looks
Whoop.
really fake. But
And
that
she's
looks so real.
It looked so believable. I will say we've come a long way
Yeah.
in our
Yeah, for 91,
special
it's
effects.
not atrocious or anything, but it's
Yeah.
just funny. It's basically like an image on an image, but they're just like making her smaller. as they
Yeah, it's
go.
like a minimizer, and then
Yeah.
gone. Okay. A pixel gone. Well, it's over. Like, we get kind of like a pan around of the desolate emptiness of this colony. Nobody's there anymore. We hear Ripley's voice come overhead. It's a similar recording. We've heard it before. Where have we heard this from, Josh?
The first movie.
It's her.
Talking about her leaving that voice note at the end of one about like, I'm the final survivor of the Nostromo.
Yep. It's her goodbye
Signing off.
message to all of us because we don't think that she's going to be back. She's
Yeah.
died.
We didn't know she's going to get reresurrected and
We
be
had
half
no
alien
idea.
in the next movie, but I mean, I should have suspected, but you know,
Because you're sus. So you sus people be sussin'.
sus be sussin',
So you should have been suspecting.
sus and suspect. I don't know, suspense.
Okay, the movie's done.
Yeah.
It's
so
over.
am I. at this
It's
point.
so drawn out. It's done. We're done. We got a couple hours left before we're in Houston.
Yeah, actually, just a little over, like about an hour and a half.
Okay. Just enough time to maybe have an Uncrustable.
The perfect time for an Uncrustable. All right, guys. Listen to Some Bad Athlete. We'll be back in just a few seconds.
Bye!
You figure it out. Tough luck, you're in my world now. I have no doubt, I have no fear. I'm gonna make you disappear. We are the scream queens running through the night. We are the scream queens gonna put up a fight. Make everything alright.
Welcome back, guys. We just had the funnest little 2 days in Houston, and we're here to tell you all about it.
Yeah, we sure were little hussies in Houston.
Little Houston us. We went to the best little whorehouse in Texas. No, not really.
And it
We just went to a really nice house in Conroe, Texas, and stayed with Justine's aunt for a couple days.
Yes.
And got pampered and loved on.
Aunt Jonna always be doing it up, girl.
She taught us to play mahjong.
She makes good Manhattans.
Yes, we had lots of good cocktails. They took us out to eat at a yummy restaurant.
Jalisco's.
Yeah, Jalisco's. It was really good. They had all kinds of, again, good cocktails.
Yes.
We had these yummy mole enchiladas.
Mhm.
Jana and Steven, Justine's aunt and uncle, got this really cool...
It's this tower of meat.
This tower of meat that they light on fire at your table, then they hand cut it in front of you, and you get steak tacos.
Yes. And they, they make, it's handmade, everything there, scratch.
And it's so much food. So
Chef Patrice Martinez is
who used to be, the story is, like her backstory was a lunch lady.
Yes.
And then ended up opening her own business, and it's, has rave
Here we are.
reviews, and people love it in that area of Texas. That restaurant's actually, I think, like in the Woodlands.
Yes.
Or it's like just a little north of Houston.
And it is like authentic Mexican cuisine, so not like Tex-Mex, which of course Texas is well known for.
Yeah.
And we definitely took part in later in our trip.
Yeah.
But it was a unique dining experience. We even had this it was called tamal de elote, and it was presented, formed in a mold to look like corn on the cob, but it was in fact like this tamale, like ground up corn texture. It was really creamy
It was
and
good.
unique. I loved it.
And we did a lot of hot tub time. And again, like I said, Jana taught us how to play Mahjong, which ended up being really fun.
Yeah,
We loved
American Mahjong League. That's what she's a part of. So
it. Yeah. What everybody plays here. It's basically the same as Chinese Mahjong. That you get a different card every year from the American Mahjong League, and these are the rules and like the different sequences that you follow throughout the year. It's a very complicated game, but she did a good job of teaching us. We got the hang of it for the most part, but it's one of those, like, I think next time I play, it's almost like, I need Jana there again to help us.
We'll just have to get her on FaceTime. She also recommended a couple of really scrumptious coffee places. You know your queens love some cold brew and love some caffeine, some covfefe. So we went to Omi Cali Cafe. It was a like a Mexican bean forward cafe. It was scrumptious, and I had it was called the Alchemist, and it had like cacao nibs in it, and it had these like really yummy like orange bitters.
Yeah, both of the coffee shops were great.
Conduit coffee. I had the old-fashioned espresso. It was not, it didn't have any alcohol in it, but it was like a Jack Daniels infused syrup that went into it. It was lovely.
Yeah,
So-
but of course the main reason we went down this weekend was to go to the Johnson Space Center / Space Center Houston to, get immersed in NASA, all things space, see what they have going on and upcoming. We got to tour Mission Control, which was the highlight. And it was like the Mission Control that you see in all the movies, like
Yeah.
Apollo 13 and Hidden Figures.
It is
and-
the Mission Control Center where we first, that's where we landed on the moon.
Yep, and help people get back from the moon when there was nearly disaster. But it was really cool. They have it preserved exactly how it was, like down to the wallpaper,
Yeah.
things that are on the desks. Like, it was really cool. And
Yeah, they have documents that are from that day that are sitting there. It all elevates that experience.
And you get to go sit in the little auditorium that overlooks it, which is authentic. That was there. That
Mhm.
was like a real little auditorium space that overlooks Mission Control. You could see like the little meeting rooms, a little phone booth, just all of it. It was really cool. And the buildings too, when you're on like the NASA campus, they're very 50s, 60s, mid-century modern, and you feel like you're kind of back in time a little bit.
It is all
it's really
a time
cool.
capsule.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. On top of getting to see Mission Control, we also got to see some of the missions that are yet to come. Artemis, which is a new mission to the moon, a different location, and it's kind of setting us up for an eventual mission to Mars. And it was really neat to walk around and take in all of that information while seeing artifacts from missions before, successful missions and those that weren't. Everything is like they learned from it, and
you got to see a lot of like the Artemis prototypes, like their suits that they're eventually going to wear. We got to see a really cool like robot. It's called the
Robonaut.
The Robonaut.
Yes.
That's going to go into outer space.
And it's their android.
It's
like-
their bishop.
It was really neat, and everything. The atmosphere there is like progress and going forward, and just being mission space.
And a lot of it like is also dealing with the International Space Station. That's their main thing that NASA has any part of now, because a lot of it's been like stripped down financially from the government. A lot of it's privatized now, and so a lot of what their concern is the International Space Station and then these future trips to outer space. So we were there on a weekend, so the campus at the Johnson B Space Center was like empty because there weren't people there working. So when we were taking like our little tram to go see Mission Control, the parking lots were empty. But I have a feeling Monday through Friday they're full of working people. And how it works is you go to Space Center Houston, which is like their big museum, and then you can do additional tours of like the Johnson Space Center from there. We chose the Mission Control. There was another tour that was like astronaut training.
Yeah, you got to see like where they currently train astronauts and have before the facilities that were used.
And it must have been sold out because when I got online to like book our tours and all that, that wasn't even offered. So it's either that or it's like, oh, you know what? I bet it's during the weekdays. Because I wanted to do the VIP tour, but it was only weekdays. And I bet it's because the astronauts aren't working, you know,
Yeah.
on the weekend. So,
Yeah.
okay, that explains that. But then I feel like I saw people in that line, though.
Yeah, and I was.
But
that's
I
what
don't know.
I think there was something. Some guy did something, but we did do quite a bit while we were there. We spent several hours
Yeah, we
walking
were there
around.
like from 10:30 to what, like 2 o'clock?
Yep, and after that, our tummies were mighty hungry, so we picked up some margaritas and some delicious stuffed chicken jalapenos.
Some chili con queso. But before we move on to that, I will say if you go to Houston, it's a must to go to NASA, see the Johnson Space Center, do the Space Center Houston. It's history, especially going to that mission control. It's like, I'll probably never go back and see it again. Not that I wouldn't want to, but it's like, who knows if I'll ever have time for that again, you know,
Yeah.
whatever in my life. But
We've seen it represented multiple times in cinema. You know,
Yeah.
it's been in multiple movies of our journeys to the moon and out into space, and
so it was so
it's
cool.
iconic.
Yeah, it was just so neat seeing it in person. So highly recommend it. Go to Space Center Houston, do the tours. Certainly, if you can only pick one, I would say do the mission control one. However, we didn't do the astronaut training, so that one could be cool too. I don't know.
yeah, we just don't know.
We just don't know. I don't know.
We're really
Justine
sorry.
doesn't know.
I
Yeah.
don't know, and the more you yell at me about this, the more I just want to retreat. Okay.
So maybe I will go back and go do the astronaut training someday, okay?
Okay.
Fine, there.
Hey, no one's pressuring you. Okay, let's segue back in by just saying let's segue back in to our movie, our Alien 3, but we didn't see any aliens.
No, and the closest was our
Well, we
Robonaut.
did touch Mars, though.
Oh, yeah, we did. We got to touch a little bit of Mars. They have on display in this Mars exhibit, like a little piece of rock from Mars, and you can slip your hand into this, like, box, and you can see it. It's like a clear box, and, like, touch it. And, of course, right after we did that, we were, like, hand sanitizing.
Yeah, I
We're
got
like-
my hand sanitizer.
we're
I
like,
was spraying our
you know
hands.
how many people have touched this damn Martian rock today?
But I
A
still,
lot.
it was nice. So we've been to another planet, is what I was
Yeah,
trying to get at,
we went
basically.
to Mars.
So,
We touched Mars.
transcended
y'all.
time and space.
I bet you haven't touched Mars.
And I
We
can
touched
guarantee
Mars.
that I'm on a short list for those that have done such.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah. Back to the movie. We got to jump in, tell you what our favorite scenes are, kind of our overall feelings. You know, just I got to get into my feels about this movie.
All right, you start. What's your favorite scene or favorite moment of the movie?
Probably my favorite moment of the movie where I feel the most like nail biter is that lead up to the lead, where there's the chase scene of Xenomorph and the different guys that are leading the Xenomorph into kind of like the whole area so that it can then further be led into that big pit of lead. I feel the most on my seat. Is it going to happen? Who else is going to die? Yeah, it's where the most suspense is happening, and there's some good CGI that's occurring, as well as the puppeteering. That would be it for me.
Yeah, the problem with this movie is it looks great. It does look like a Fincher movie. However, it lacks a lot of suspense. Like, the build-ups to a lot of things don't really work. You never really get to know these characters. They're all very much alike. They don't have a lot of unique personalities. There is the
Yeah.
one guy that goes a little crazy about the dragon. You kind of feel sorry for him. So that might be my favorite scene, you know, the iconic moment where he almost gets Ripley and you find out, like, oh, why didn't she get Ripley? But I would say my favorite moments probably aren't even really horror moments. It's when they bring Bishop back to life, or like the old Bishop.
Yeah.
And they get to talk to him. That's a really cool scene. And not even because it's a throwback, but you just get a really unexpected moment. You already saw Bishop as the android dead in the crash, so you just don't, you think they're over with. You know, you're not going to see him again. And then I like the return at the end of the real Bishop that the Bishop android was modeled after. And you know how he's pressuring Ripley, and you're like, is she going to do it? Is she not?
Yeah, because I guess we never really... it's revealed to us that Bishop looks like his creator. But it makes sense, even from like those strange biblical like stances of like you're created in the image of your maker. So, of course, Bishop would have looked just like who made him.
And I like those scenes. Again, my overall problem with the movie is how it was interfered with by the studios. You can tell there's like a weird choppiness quality to it where things are just happening and you're kind of like, oh, okay, well, now we're down here doing that. Not to say there's not a story and that there's not any kind of exposition, because there is, but it just doesn't flow like the other movies. Aliens has a lot of Marines, but they all have a personality. You start to care about them.
Yes.
This like cult of prisoners, you just really never feel for them. The closest is the guy
Dylan, kind of the lead guy.
Well, but I was also going to say Tyrion. Tyrion Lannister.
Clemens, the doctor,
So that scene's pretty cool too. I mean, and that leads into that iconic moment of the xenomorph breathing down Ripley's neck.
Mm-hmm.
But something just falls flat with this movie.
It ends up being underwhelming, where you want to where you think it's got all of the good parts to being a really great sequel and a standalone, and it falls flat because of the involvement of those from the outside on the creative process.
And I even like that they went back. We're like, all right, we're gonna make a really dark alien movie. The first one's dark. It's like a haunted house movie, but with aliens. The second one is still creepy, but it's like a big action movie. So let's scale it back. Let's get it back into like the horror world.
And it's gritty, but
it's just not my favorite. It's one I'll say, hey, put it on. It's a great background fodder. Not, it's one if you just want something visually stunning to look at. Don't really care about the story for a while, which I know this isn't selling you on it, but it's not without its merits. But it's the one that I never really come back to. It's always one or two, or even Prometheus or Covenant. Haven't seen Romulus yet. We might do that for our Patreon channel soon. Or not our Patreon, our YouTube
Blind
channel.
Spot Reactions, yes, and we
channel.
and definitely go join our Patreon for more involvement, even with like the podcast and what we're doing with those newsletters.
And you might see us doing Romulus on there soon. You just watch us watch it.
Yep,
so.
Drop it, bitch. That's right, like it's hot.
I guess when it comes to knives, I'm gonna go 2.5. I couldn't decide between 2 or 2.5. I'll be a little generous and give it a half a knife. I'll give it a part of the handle or something.
Okay. Well, I will agree with you. I was waffling between 2.5 and 3. And I think just at the end of the day, it doesn't nab the 3. And guys, sometimes there's not really a rhyme or reason to why something's going to get a 3, something's going to get a 2.5. It is so much about just like how I just feel in the moment. If you're ever like just wondering like, well, how come this movie who has all these qualities got a 4, but this, it could just be, it's just me.
Well, let's say we're doing something like Trolls. Trolls knows what it is.
True.
So that might get a higher rating than our Alien review.
Because it's clear that Alien 3 has no idea what it is.
And that Alien is striving to be something bigger and quote-unquote better than like a Trolls movie, let's say.
But it completely falls
so
flat.
it's like, if the movie knows what it is, if it is what it is, and it's good at what it is, then it'll get a ranking for what it is. Troll is funny and stupid, so I don't even remember what I gave Troll. I'm just giving that as an example.
Yeah, true.
It could,
something
like that might get a better knife rating from me than, say, a prestige movie like Alien 3.
Mm-hmm.
Or could have been a prestige movie like Alien 3. This movie was really maligned, got terrible reviews when it came out.
I think now, circling back to it, and then knowing kind of more just like the backstory to it, like the making of it, I am a little more accepting of it, and certainly you can definitely see it's Fincher, and we now know the trajectory that he's been on, so he makes amazing films. They look gorgeous. Okay, all that having been said, we've got episode 109 just around the corner.
Yep, we're going back to our cabin. You know, we like to do that in the winter. Go down to Broken Bow, Oklahoma, and stay in our little winter cabin. And we always pick like some kind of cabin in the woods movie. And this year it's M. Night Shyamalan's A Knock at the Cabin.
Yes.
So come back next month for that. And don't forget to subscribe. Go rate and review us. Give us that 5-star rating. It really helps us. Join us on YouTube and all the social medias. I think we're on like every single one. So.
Yes, yeah. Join our Patreon. You can be involved at many different tier levels. Come over to our YouTube and start checking us out on our blind spot reactions. Take care.
Bye. I love you.